Hey guys, I'm back. I got my energy back a little bit. I decided to change up the topic a little bit today. I wanted to talk about how I got here and where I came from and how exactly I made it to the hospital and what happened and where I was before. So I came from London, Ontario, and yeah, I had a falling out in life. I had a downhill kind of spiral. I don't really know what else to say other than I messed up, big time. Made wrong choices, bad bad associates, hung out with the wrong people. Some of the people I hung out were good, but I definitely was not doing good things. So I ended up going to jail. I ended up getting sentenced to around 3 years. And yeah, I went to the penitentiary. So the penitentiaries are located in Kingston. And before I went to jail, I had quite an extensive. Um, I had a lot of drug use. So I was using a lot of drugs. I was an addict. And I was doing a lot of criminal activity to support that habit. And I wasn't thinking about people's feelings, people's emotions, people's families. I was just, I was an addict. I was supporting my habit, and I now know that I have regrets. I have huge regrets that I know I can't take the things back that I did, but I can only move on from them and try and change. So I went to jail, and I got shipped all the way from London to Kingston. And yeah, it was a long, long drive in a very cold, cold bus. And I got to Joyceville Institution. It's actually a receiving unit where everybody goes, and I spent about uh, maybe 2 years, 4 months there. Maybe not quite that long, but I was there for a bit, and then I got sick. I started throwing up. I started having all these complications, so I had to come to emerge. And then, yeah, when I came to the hospital, I had guards sitting on me every day. So I was technically still an inmate, still a prisoner. So they had to sit at the end of my bed here, two of them, armed with pistols, and yeah, their job was to make sure I didn't go anywhere, and I listened, right? So they were sitting on me until August of last year, and I got to the hospital around April last year. So once August came around, it was my like 2/3 or my statutory release date or whatever, and yeah, they ended up bringing my release paperwork, introducing me to a parole officer, and all that, So that's how I got here, and then eventually the guards kind of just faded away one day after they brought me my paperwork. I slowly started getting property from the jail that I couldn't access. Like my mom had bought me a really nice pair of shoes that I couldn't wear the whole time. It was actually a really nice pair of Jordans, and yeah, I got those. I got tons of clothes, and it was great, And I actually had a nurse give me a brand new cell phone. This TV here that you see, an Xbox One. So once the guards left and everything, and I got to the hospital and I was by myself, I got pretty set up pretty quick. And I'm gonna make this video a little longer than 5 minutes just so I can finish explaining what I want to explain, because once the guards left, I was getting things like boxes from the penitentiary that were left there, either for me to go back and pick up, or they had to make arrangements for it to get sent here. So my parole officer got that done for me, and I got my stuff. And yeah, it was a pretty cool thing to happen. Not everybody gets released at the hospital, so I now that I am released, I'm on parole to the city of Kingston, so I can't leave Kingston. But I'm 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 sober now, and I'm no longer around those bad associates, those negative influences, and I'm still in a city that's a long way away. I'm in Kingston, Ontario, and I think it's like 6 to 5 hours away. It's near the reserve out here, Tandanaga. But yeah, the TV, the Xbox, and the cell phone. The cell phone's like a $1,200 phone. The Xbox is an Xbox One S. The TV's like a 32 or a 42-inch. And a nurse dropped that off. A nurse knew that I was getting released, knew that the guards were going to be leaving, and said that he had some stuff in storage for me. So I said, I'm not gonna refuse anything. And I had nothing. And I hadn't received anything from the jail yet. Hadn't even been given my release papers. So when the guards left, he stayed to his word, and he did bring by some stuff that he did have in storage. He brought by a box, a backpack, and a duffel bag. And in those bags were, in the bags were clothing, and like a lot of clothing. And in the box was neatly, very tightly, the TV, the Xbox, and like 2 or 3 games for it. So I was very thankful for that, and I will never forget it. And the weirdest thing about it is he kind of disappeared after that. So like, I never really seen him again, and his name was Sean. So like, I am gonna pass it on the next time I get a chance, and I always do. That's the kind of person I am, like I will pass it on if I see someone in need, or if like, I I don't like seeing others go without, especially when somebody's in genuine need of something. Especially now, like I've changed my mentality from how I was before. I was an addict. I was a user. I was somebody who didn't care. That was my motto. I said, fuck it, like I kind of made the decision to get a bunch of like tattoos on my hands and a bunch of stuff that, yeah, I do regret, but it's also going to be a constant reminder throughout my life that that's not what I want to go back to. That's not what I want. I did a lot of stuff in jail that taught me things, like a lot of programming. And it was an indigenous programming that helped me learn skills like taking a situation and flipping it, using optimism to flip the situation so you're no longer viewing it as a negative. You're now turning it into a positive. And that can apply to many different situations, whether you're angry, sad, feeling down, or like just having a bad day. You can go, and I call it flipping the B. And you take your A and you flip it into a B. But there's a lot of other skills I learned, like they talked a lot about like Aboriginal teachings, but I think it was Mohawk teachings. Like it wasn't Iroquois teachings. Like I'm from Oneida Nation, which is out by London, Ontario, and that's the Iroquois Nation, and then it's the Haudenosaunee people. We are Um, I don't know, not a lot of people know about Oneida, but that's where I'm from. Both my mother and my father were from Oneida. But, yeah, before I came to the hospital, before I even got here, I was in jail for a long time. I mean, before that, I was on the street for a long time. I battled homelessness, I battled addiction, and deep down, I knew that wasn't right. I knew that I wanted to get out of that. And I think deep down, I knew that was partly my mom talking at me, my mom telling me, like, you should feel guilty about doing this because that's how she raised me. In a way, like, there's a lot of things that I think kind of rubbed off on me from my mom, like how I treat people nicely, or how I'm rather uh, independent and very outspoken, like I'm also very polite, and that's with all her kids, and I'm glad to have her, I'm glad to have her still as a support system in my life, especially going through stuff like this. So, you know, anyway, guys, I think I've taken up enough for your time. I don't know if anybody has actually finished this video, but I hope so. Mom, I know you're watching. Um, anyway, guys, I'm gonna stop this video here. I hope it gives you another something that's interesting to watch. I hope I'm not super boring. But anyway, not much of an update hospital-wise to give you guys. I got my energy back. I don't know if you can tell. My last video, I was like, hey, talking real slow. Yeah, I had a good sleep. I had a good 24 hours of getting my IV fluids back, getting like electrolytes back in me and whatnot. So I'm feeling better. And I'll see you guys on the next video. If anybody's watching this, please share to your Facebook. Share so I can get my videos out there and I can get more people watching these. I want to teach people. I want to inspire. I want to give others hope. Anybody else who's going through a hard time in their life, I want to show them that no matter how hard it is, you can push on. You can go and keep going. Like if your situation's not as bad as mine, or even if it's worse. I believe in optimism. I believe in being optimistic about every situation and saying, you know what, I've been through worse, or this could be worse, and there's no use thinking negative about stuff. And I think that's part of how my mind has changed. I'm still learning that, but we'll see. Anyway, guys, take care.